You are leasing it for a temporary basis. You are, again, not taking ownership of the beat. The producer is going to keep leasing out the song to other people. It is non-exclusive. For today's music business tip, I'm going to give you the ultimate guide to beat leases, okay? Also known as licenses. These words are used interchangeably, so we will use them interchangeably in this video. When it comes to getting these beats licensed, right, so to use basically instrumentals that you can build on, there's different ways to build on them. You can add your vocal, your rap, you can even produce on top of them. You can pitch the beat. Obviously, we can pitch it up, you know, a third. There's all kinds of things that you can do. So we start with just getting the actual beat. How do you do that? And then what are wrinkles that our clients run into? I'm a real entertainment attorney, and so we have problems that come up that a lot of rappers and artists and producers don't know about, don't think about, and so we're going to cover it all in this video. Before we move on, just a friendly reminder that when you guys like and comment on the video, it helps to kind of get the word out and to tell the algorithm to push it out. I want this channel to continue growing and building our community of artists and producers and badass people in the music business who want to represent themselves and to stay legally protected. So I appreciate you guys liking and subscribing to the video. All right, so when it comes to basically getting, you know, these beats licensed or leased, there's kind of three main ways that we go about it, right? So number one, in the actual leasing space, you can do it on a non-exclusive basis. We'll talk about what that is. An exclusive basis, or alternatively, you can just purchase the song outright. Now, when it comes to licensing or leasing the song, you have to just remember, it's kind of like, you know, renting a video, like paying to watch on Amazon a new release. You are leasing it for a temporary basis. You don't own the thing. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind. So when it comes to number one, the non-exclusive lease, you are, again, not taking ownership of the beat, and you're doing it on a non-exclusive basis, which means the producer is going to keep leasing out the song to other people. It is non-exclusive. So I've had artists who will contact our law office because they get really upset, and they're like, what is happening? I paid all this money for, you know, for this song. I put out my song, I'm doing a music video, and then lo and behold, someone else has released my song. But what they're referring to is the fact that the instrumental was licensed by someone else. And so, you know, there is a different version out in the universe. And so at that point, we got to kind of figure out what the best method of moving forward is. Now, before we get to the next one, let me show you. One of the most popular websites that you guys like to use is BeatStars. Here we go. So when it comes to BeatStars, let's just randomly go in like we were going to purchase a song. And that way I can give you a real kind of overview of what this looks like. And so we say, okay, great. I've listened to this beat. This is my jam. I'm going to put a great, you know, top line over this. Here are your licensing options. Okay, or leasing options, same thing. So you can go in and you say, all right, so I can get just the MP3, right? And MP3, of course, is a lower quality version of the song. It's sufficient enough. You're going to save, you know, in this case, $10 to get the MP3. You can upgrade, so you get the MP3 and WAV. The reason you want to get the WAV is because it's higher quality. And what happens, guys, is that when you upload the music to your music distributor, the music distributor is going to compress the song a little bit to make it fit guidelines of where it's being sent to, right? So Spotify and Amazon. And then Amazon and Spotify and Deezer and all these places will compress the song again. So if you've ever wondered why your song sounds a little thin, it just sounds a little different by the time you listen to it on the music platforms, it's because it's been compressed through those processes. So the reason you want to do the WAV is because you don't want your music sounding like trash. So I would not suggest doing the MP3 route. In this case, it's only $10 more, so just pay the extra money and do the WAV and get the WAV, okay? That's number one. So let's pretend we were going to purchase this. Let's go through the process. Add to cart, okay? So the reason I wanted to show you this, on the checkout page, it says review license. There's a couple things I want to go through with you guys. This is the thing that you are purchasing. Okay, and by actually understanding what the license agreement says, you can understand the restrictions on these songs, because what happens, especially with these non-exclusive songs that you can go and buy, someone else can go and buy, or I should say lease, they have restrictions on how much you can use them, right? So sometimes it will say you can only use it for so many streams and then you have to pay again. So let me just point out a couple of things. All right, so starting with the licensing fee, you're going to pay, the licensing fee that we agreed to on the checkout. Delivery, we're going to give you the delivery that you chose. In this case, it was an MP3 and a WAV. Term, how long are you going to have this song? Guess what? It's not for the rest of your lives. You got to make sure you read this and understand that the lease is only for a certain period of time. And if you forget, you're going to be in breach of contract. So in 10 years, you're supposed to go and renew. Okay? And you might not be able to renew. They might not give you another, option on this. So this is kind of where I get a little like, it'd be better to have like an in-house producer if you're just producing your own stuff. But it's not the end of the world. Okay, I just want you guys to be aware of the fact that the lease or the license is only for the period of time that it says in the contract that you are getting. In this case, it's only 10 years. Okay. In this case, you get use of the beat, and it's gonna spell out it's a non-exclusive basis. We're gonna lease it to other people. Okay. You can use it for one song. You don't get to do, very different versions with different top lines. Only the one. It's granted, again, non-exclusive. They want to keep reinforcing that. Non-exclusive, non-exclusive, non-exclusive. And then the song may be used for promotional purposes. You can put it on your EP, your album. You can put it on digital streaming. And then right here goes the licensee, you may use the new song in a synchronization of one audio-visual work no longer than 5 minutes. The reason why this matters is because they're telling you can put it in one video. That's it. You don't get to put it in TV shows, a movie, a commercial, and that's going to be not so great for some of you, because if you get a placement in TV and film, you get a huge chunk of change, right? So you get something as small as $5,000, $10,000, $50,000. So understand that as far as how much you can use the song, it's restricted based on the license that you are purchasing. So, and another thing too is I have clients who will be like, well, I don't like the license agreement. What do I do? Well, you can obviously use BeatStars to find the producer. If you find someone, you dig their song, you don't want to go through this platform, obviously look them up and you can contact them as far as maybe having a special side deal. We have done that. All right, let's keep going. So in this case, right, you're just paying for the WAV and the MP3. So they're saying you have a 5,000 limit. And then on the products, there's 500,000 audio streams, one video of 500,000 non-monetized video streams. So you can't even put monetization on your YouTube videos. So there are a lot of restrictions, but this is, of course, the lower of the licensing options. And then there's a whole section. Restrictions on use of the beat, okay? You can't transfer it, right? You get this. You can't sell your song. You can't give it to someone else. You are the only one that gets to have this license. You can't give the sync rights for additional things, right? We just talked about this for TV, for film, movies, so on and so forth. So the point just being, there is a lot of restrictions. The producer is still going to own the song. You will never own the instrumental. When you register it with PROs like, BMI and ASCAP, this is the percentage you have to register. So guys, it's really important that you read these, and I'm just kind of glazing through it real quick so you can see some of these things and understand what they say. But that's not the only license that you can do, right? So when it comes to, let's go back here, because, someone might say beat makers might be, useless when it comes to actually being a big artist. But that's actually not correct, okay? And let me show you why. So a lot of bigger artists, in fact, do use this platform, and that's why they have these bigger tiers, right? So you can get what are called the tracked out lease, and that means you get the stems. And the reason you might want stems, which are going to be basically, they'll send you exports will be like the drums only, the guitar only. So it's going to be kind of the sections of the song rendered out. The reason you do that is if you think you're going to produce it further, right? You can add in your additional stuff. You can mix it differently. So that's why you want to maybe pay the additional money to get the stems. And that's called a tracked out lease. But in any case, going back, you can do the unlimited lease or even negotiate a specialized package. So let's pretend we're going all in, okay? And let's see what this one would look like. All right, here we go. So we're gonna get the MP3, wave, and stems. But we're only getting this for 10 years. So again, this is a lease. We don't get to own the beat at any point. This is still non-exclusive. Now, for some of the other beats, you know, I kind of went in, was looking at what's available on this website. There are some that are listed that are offered on an exclusive basis, and their prices are like $3,000. So for more established artists who are using this platform, they do have options for you, okay? But in this case, we're looking at, you know, this is still a non-exclusive license. But that's number 2 that we were talking about, right? Number 1, non-exclusive. It's being sold to as many people, you know, as want to purchase it and or not purchase it, lease it. But then number 2, for exclusive, it means one person gets to license the beat, but they still don't own it. And that's where the problem kind of comes up, okay? So, you know, if the song ends up doing really well and the artist wants to go and sell the song to use it in TV and commercials, a lot of these lease agreements say the same thing. They go, no, you only get it for the 10 years. You can put it on music platforms. You can have unlimited uses. You know, if you paid the higher tiers, unlimited music videos, you can use it in your live performances. And that's all great, but you still don't have the ability to sell it. And I'll tell you guys what, when it comes to selling your songs, what you don't know is that you can actually get a lot of money for selling your songs. And that's why record labels want your music. That's why they're gonna sign you and take ownership of your music. It's not because they're nice or, you know, they think that they'll do a better job than you. That actually is probably what they think. But in any case, understand that your music's really valuable. And in this case, you can't sell it because you don't own the beat, okay? So, you know, I had laid out, but there's 3 ways to do this. So a non-exclusive license, an exclusive license, and then the third one is to just simply buy out the beat. And I'd kind of mentioned that earlier. If you fall in love with a certain instrumental, you can go directly to the producer. The producer's going to tell you, you know, some outrageous number. All right, cool, you know, pay me $10,000 and sure, I'll sell you the beat. And maybe you're willing to pay that. But what I found is that you guys should think about, how do you get an in-house producer, right? So someone that works for you. And when they make the music pursuant to your agreement, you gotta have a written agreement, okay? I call these like collaboration agreements, purchase agreements, whatever you wanna call it. I have a free template in the book that I sell, How to Keep Your Dukes Up in the Music Business. You can get it from there for like 25 bucks. But in any case, you have an agreement that says, hey producer, when you make the song, I own it. We're not leasing. I don't owe you more money in the future. There's no restrictions on the song. And I would really recommend that you guys do this. I have some artists who just have these, you know, basically we build the templates so we can go and purchase the songs, we can license them, we can do whatever we got to do and do it quickly. But obviously there's a lot of you that are utilizing these websites. So that's why I wanted to literally go through these actual lease agreements so you guys learn how to think like an attorney and understand what these leases are saying.